welcome to the Jeremy Hill Show. If you're easily triggered, leave now because this is not the show for you. I guarantee it. Now, let me tell you what I think in my most humble opinion. I kind of believe in my most humble opinion that the more education, the more degrees that the modern woman, black woman in particular, the more degrees that she has, the more dumber she comes across. Now, that's my humble opinion. I'm not trying to be offensive, but I think the more education they get, they tend to dumb down mentally. And their interactions with men are just upside down, inside out. Now, I'm going to show you some clips that might back up what I just said out of fair use. And this is an educational video educating you of how women act after they get their higher education. Let's go ahead and get started. Give me 1 second as I pull it up, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to cover some ground today. I hope this is very informative for you, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get it.
African American women are often encouraged to get a good education, get a good job, and be independent, to not need a man. I can do all that by myself. And with that notion, African American women are the most unmarried group of women, and they're more unlikely than any other group of women, the more educated that they are, to end up attracting a marriage partner. There are so many very good, smart, loving African American women who don't have a husband for multiple reasons.
A lot of that reason, one of the main reasons, is because of pride and ego. The more successful that the modern day woman, black woman in particular, in my most humble opinion, the more successful they get, the more egotistical they become. The more they feel that they don't need anybody, even God in some cases. I believe everybody needs God, but these women don't sometimes. But these women don't think they need a man. They don't think they need a helping hand. They don't think they need any of that stuff. With the more achievements comes more stress and more pride to the black woman. Let's keep going.
Multiple reasons, but one of it is because as a child we were taught to get a good education, get a good job, be independent, and not need a man. And as our beautiful, loving elders were attempting to protect us from hurt, harm, and disillusionment like they experienced, they missed a crucial piece to that piece of advice. White women overwhelmingly are more married than African American women. Asian women are even more married group of women than white women. And these groups end up having more wealth than any other group of people. And
now, I'm going to tell you something. That's true. What women don't understand is if you want to build wealth, one of the best ways of doing it is to get you a partner. Now, let me put something on the screen to back up that. Boom. It says right here that white Americans hold 84% of the total wealth, but make up only 60% of the population, while black Americans hold 4% of the wealth and make up 13% of the population. And the source that comes from is the MinneapolisFed.org. You can look it up for yourselves. So yes, if you really want to try to build wealth, it is always better to have a husband to do so. Your degree does not necessarily mean that you're going to be rich. A lot of people go to college and get degrees, and then when they hit the workforce, they don't do a job. They don't have a job that goes along with the degree that they earn. There's a lot of people got degrees that are really useless that they're not even using, but they owe the government so much money for those degrees that they're not even using right now. So it's best to get married in your 20s, ladies, not in your 30s, not in your 40s, not in your 50s.
And so as our grandmothers were giving this advice to protect us, it did us a disservice, because at the end of the day, it costs $1 million every 10 years to be single, with the cost of housing, paying that all by yourself, with the cost of paying taxes as a single individual, with the cost of insurance and other expenses. Matter of fact, per the studies, singles make $13,000 less per year than their counterparts who are married. Add into being an African American woman, and that number goes up significantly. And so when you are totaling this up, the fact that you're doing this by yourself, and that it's faster to build wealth with a partner, and per the statistics and studies, that when you're with a partner, that your brain actually changes.
I want to speak at that because that is really deep to me. What she said is actually true, and I'm going to prove that. When a woman is married and actually pair bonded to a man, her brain functions begin to change. Let me put that on the screen. Boom, here we go. Excuse me. It says on the screen that longer-term love also boosts activation in the cognitive areas of the brain, such as the angular gyrus, the part of the brain associated with complex language. Now, you can get that from American Psychological Association, but I'm going to explain to you what the angular gyrus actually is to make more sense of it. It's good there. Now, the angular gyrus is in a region of the brain in the parietal lobe that lies near the superior edge of the temporal lobe and immediately posterior to the supramarginal gyrus. Now let's explain what that is. It is involved in a number of processes related to language, number processing, spatial cognition, memory retrieval, attention, and etc. Let's go to 3. Here we go. Spatial cognition is a branch of cognitive psychology that studies how people acquire and use knowledge about their environment to determine where they are, how to obtain resources, and how to find a way home. I don't know why I had a whole time even reading that, but check this out. What that means is it helps the woman process information. When a woman is in love and really focus on being on with a man, focus on family, focuses on being feminine, then she thinks better. She processes information better. She has more empathy, more sympathy, more direction, more willing to listen to direction when she is focused on marriage. Now, when she is focused on degrees and then focused on I don't need no man, she doesn't think as well as she would if she was actually in a relationship or a marriage with a man. So what does that tell you? The more education you get, the more egotistical you become, the more prideful you become, the more independent you become. That will equate to the fact that you are extremely dumb. You become dumber. The more education it sounds crazy. The more education you get, the more dumber you become. It's like what they say back in the day, how they would say people have book sense but don't have common sense. Book sense but not common sense. The more education that you get, lady, and believe that you are an island onto yourself, the dumber you become. I just read it to you. Sorry about stumbling when I was reading it, but you can go back and you can look it up yourselves. But I just told you the God honest truth right then. Let's keep going.
Develops more neural connections. You're more likely to be more creative so that you can be more successful in your career or in your business. Love is a human need, not wants. It is a need. Babies who have never been held literally start to die. So it is high time for us to drop this whole idea that I don't need anybody. I can do that all by myself. And if you're looking only to African American men to be your option when you're finding yourself disappointed, again, you're doing yourself a disservice. There is 7.8 billion people in the world. There are many other options, many other cultures that will love you and love your soul. And so it's time for us to start teaching our girls to get an education, fall in love with themselves, and while they do that, learn how to attract a partner who can see, value, and love them. I hope that.
So here's the thing. Yeah, there's different men in different ethnic groups, but the black woman is not understanding that you can't even attract them either. You know why? Because of your attitude. Yes, there's a lot of white people, Mexican, Italian people, Samoan, Hawaiian people out there, Alaskan people out there. Hell, werewolves. And you can't get none of them. You can't get not a single one of them because of your attitude, because you don't need no man. That narrative that you got will also carry on to you when you're dating other people of different ethnic groups. As soon as they do something you don't like, I don't need no man anyway. So yeah, it don't matter. It don't matter. Let's play another one.
There are single women with no kids who are college educated.
Yeah.
And they're having trouble finding mates because they're like, I'm at this level.
Yes.
And I'm looking for someone to elevate me, and I'm not finding a lot of candidates that are going to meet me or improve me. And I think,
again, pride, ego. She said, I am at this level and I can't find someone to meet me at this level. So I want someone to meet me at eye level. So basically it's pride and ego. I'm telling you what it is, and selfishness. There's nothing wrong with wanting to better yourself. There's nothing wrong with looking for someone that compliments you. But a lot of you women are not understanding that it's not just as simple as that with you. Once you get educated, you think you are superior not only to men, but to your women friends. Some of you look down on your women friends. So this is why you can't find nobody, because you think you're on top of the mountain where no one can touch you. They say it's lonely at the top, and you proving it.
improve me. And I think that is what a lot of people are missing.
I think that's an excuse, though. There are educated women out there who can find good men, but the real question is, what they're not going to tell you is how many successful men that are on their level or above their level that they passed off for silly reasons.
That's true.
See, that's something they're not going to tell you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. I said that many times before, especially if you're a middle-aged woman. You have had plenty of good suitors for you. Good men who are about their business, but you passed up on them for whatever reason you had. You chose this path that you're on right now of loneliness and bitterness. That ain't nobody else's fault but you. It ain't because of your education sometimes. It's just you. Let's play this right quick. 1 second. I think y'all might like this last clip. It's the old Kevin Samuel. I found this clip and it goes with this, so I said I'll go ahead and play this one, man.
Why would we seek to, be one with the black man? We even think that being...
Thank you. Clip it, slice it, put it on World Star. She said it, not me. Now that you're independent, you don't need to be with. There you go. There you go. And there you go, black man. There it is. She finally got one to say it.
Build businesses with us.
Your grandmothers and your great grandmothers had more trauma and more stress and did it better. They have exponentially less and they're handling it worse. But it's because they're free and can do what the hell they want to. They'll need to be with you. So you don't need to feel any guilt for taking care of you, for putting yourself first and making your passion, your purpose, your priority. You don't need to feel guilty because this 24-year-old woman just said it. They don't feel any guilt about it. Thank you.
That man hit a lot of truth when he was still alive, didn't he? But yeah, basically, it goes back to what I said. Once they get all this education, later when you get all this, excuse me, cut the music back up. When y'all get all this education and you got these achievements underneath your belt, you become cold, you become rigid, you become someone that nobody else can want to be with. You're difficult to be around, you're unpleasant. So yes, the more education you get, the dumber you become. It's dumb to think that you don't need a man of any race, I'm talking to women of all ethnic groups, but in particular my own. You are stupid as hell to think that you can go through life not wanting to be with a man. Everybody wants to be with somebody. Nobody wants to be alone. And you have been foolishly deceived into believing that success will replace that need and that hunger in your soul to be with a man. And you're suffering behind it too right now, aren't you? Tell me, how is it working for you? Y'all take it easy now. I'll see y'all soon.